powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse.
Robin Williams was misdiagnosed in the final years of his life. Doctors told him he had Parkinson's disease, and for his last year, that's what he believed. But it wasn't true. Only after his passing did doctors identify the real condition, one far more devastating. With a career spanning decades, his explosive energy and ability to shift from comedy to deep emotion made him unforgettable to audiences everywhere. Yet that vibrant figure once had a very different beginning. Growing up in Chicago, Williams was quiet and reserved as a child. But he soon discovered a simple way to get attention, by making people laugh. That's how he became the class clown. At home, he formed a close bond with the family's maid, often the only person he had to talk to. The lack of attention from his parents left a deeper mark on Robin Williams than he ever showed, and over time, that quiet pain only intensified. Still, he became incredibly skilled at hiding it. Change was nothing new to him. So when his father chose early retirement and moved the family from Michigan to California, 16-year-old Robin braced himself once again, preparing for the familiar struggle of starting over in a new school. But this time, something felt different. The environment was more open, less rigid than anything he had known before, and it changed everything. For the first time, he truly fit in. By the time he graduated, his classmates had voted him both the funniest and, ironically, the least likely to succeed. At first, he followed a more traditional path, enrolling in college to study political science. But it didn't take long for reality to catch up with him. Within months, he dropped out, choosing instead to chase something far less certain, acting. After 3 years of studying at a community college, that risk began to pay off. In 1973, he earned a full scholarship to the prestigious Juilliard School, a breakthrough many can only dream of. One of only 20 students accepted into the advanced drama program that year, Robin Williams found himself studying alongside future stars like Kelsey Grammer, Francis Conroy, and Christopher Reeve. When he landed a role in a Tennessee Williams play at the Juilliard School, both his instructors and classmates were skeptical, unsure if he could handle a serious role without slipping into comedy. But when the play opened, he proved them all wrong. Williams delivered a powerful performance, leaving Christopher Reeve genuinely astonished. Still, the strict, classical training at Juilliard never quite suited him. Echoing the bold move he once made as a teenager, the 25-year-old set out for San Francisco in 1976, searching for something that fit him better. There, he began refining his stand-up routine, shaping the fast, unpredictable style that would define him. It wasn't long before he took that act down the Pacific Coast Highway to Los Angeles, where he quickly encountered the darker side of the entertainment world. And just as quickly, during one of his stand-up performances, a TV producer spotted him, setting the stage for a major turning point in his career. After a few minor roles, Robin Williams landed a brief but unforgettable cameo on Happy Days, playing a quirky alien named Mork. In the hands of another actor, the role might have faded instantly, but Williams turned it into something electric, capturing the attention of both executives and audiences alike. That single appearance sparked a spin-off, Mork Mindy, which became a massive hit from 1978 to 1982. The success didn't just elevate his television career, it opened the floodgates for his stand-up, leading to a string of HBO specials that only fueled his growing fame. But while sitcom life required discipline, the late-night world of comedy clubs offered something far less structured and far more dangerous. It was there that Williams found himself increasingly surrounded by temptation. Around this time, his personal life was also moving quickly. He had first met Valerie Velarde in San Francisco in 1976, when she was working as a waitress while attending school. By 1978, they had reconnected, and in a whirlwind moment, Williams proposed. They married that same June, just as his career was beginning to skyrocket. With the combined success of Mork Mindy and his stand-up specials, Williams had become one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. Fame brought admiration, and plenty of attention from fans, especially women, which he didn't always resist. Then in 1980, Hollywood offered him a leading role in Popeye, hoping to translate his energy onto the big screen. But instead of cementing his film career, the movie fell flat, becoming a major disappointment and an early setback in his rise to cinematic success. By 1982, Robin Williams was stepping into more serious roles, including a standout performance in The World According to Garp. But while his career was evolving on screen, his personal life was unraveling behind the scenes. During this time, he had grown especially close to fellow comedian John Belushi. Their bond was built on shared success, and the excess that often came with it, alcohol and drugs. Then came the night that changed everything. In 1982, Belushi was staying at the Chateau Marmont with Kathy Smith. Williams, along with others, stopped by briefly but felt uneasy and left. The next day, devastating news broke. Belushi had died from an overdose that same night. The loss hit Williams hard, becoming a turning point he couldn't ignore. Shaken, he began searching for a different path. He turned to healthier outlets like running and cycling, trying to regain control. Around the same time, his personal life was shifting. In 1984, Valerie Velarde gave birth to their son, Zachary Williams. The pregnancy had already pushed him to step away from drinking and partying, and Zach's arrival only reinforced that decision. But stability didn't last. By 1988, after 9 years of marriage, Williams and Velarde separated. Not long after, he began a relationship with Marcia Garces Williams, who had previously worked as their son's nanny before becoming his assistant. The situation drew criticism, and tensions escalated further when she revealed she was pregnant. Soon after, divorce proceedings between Williams and Velarde officially began, marking another complicated chapter in his life. Within just a year, Robin Williams saw his personal life shift dramatically. Going from married to divorced, and then married again, this time to Marcia Garces Williams. But unlike before, there were signs he had begun to change. Then came the moment that would redefine his career. Good Morning, Vietnam. Interestingly, the film had been circulating in Hollywood since 1979, passed from studio to studio before finally reaching him. The moment he read the script, Williams knew this was his chance to show a completely different side of his talent. And he didn't miss. The film became one of the year's biggest hits and earned him his first Academy Award nomination. After years of appearing in films that failed to fully capture his potential, Williams had finally proven he could carry a movie both critically and commercially. With that success came something even more valuable: creative freedom. He began choosing roles with more depth, such as in Dead Poets Society, while also captivating younger audiences with unforgettable performances in Hook, Aladdin, and Mrs. Doubtfire, films that etched his voice and presence into the childhood of an entire generation. Beyond the spotlight, some connections never faded. Years after their time at Juilliard School, Williams remained close friends with Christopher Reeve, best known for Superman. But in 1995, tragedy struck when Reeve was paralyzed in a horseback riding accident. For a man once seen as the embodiment of a superhero, the reality was devastating. And in that moment, Williams understood something clearly. This time, it was his turn to be the one who showed up. Not long after the accident, Christopher Reeve received an unexpected hospital visit from a strange Russian doctor, claiming he needed to perform an exam. It was, of course, Robin Williams in disguise, pulling a prank. Reeve later said it was the first time he truly laughed since the accident, a moment that helped pull him back from the edge of despair. At home, Williams was building a different kind of life. With Marcia Garces Williams, he had 2 children, Zelda Williams and Cody Williams. As a devoted father of 3, he found himself increasingly drawn to projects that could reach younger audiences. At the time, Disney was deep into its Renaissance era and was determined to bring him on board for Aladdin. To win him over, the studio created a unique pitch, animating the genie to match one of Williams' own stand-up routines. The result impressed him instantly, and he agreed to take the role with one clear condition: that Disney would not use his name or image for marketing. But things didn't go as promised. While his name stayed out of the main advertising, his voice and the genie were heavily used in merchandise and fast food promotions, without additional compensation. The decision left Williams deeply frustrated, casting a shadow over his experience with the film and straining his relationship with Disney. Aladdin became a massive hit and an instant classic, with Robin Williams' unforgettable performance playing a crucial role in its success. He improvised much of the genie's dialogue, but that creativity came with an unexpected consequence. The Academy rejected the film's script for Best Adapted Screenplay consideration. Around the same time, few expected a low-budget film written by two relatively unknown writers like Good Will Hunting to make any real impact. But upon release, the film was an immediate success, driven in large part by Williams' deeply moving performance. After two previous Oscar nominations, including one for The Fisher King, he finally won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for Good Will Hunting, a defining high point in his career. The years that followed were filled with continued success, making it seem like nothing could slow him down. Behind the scenes, however, a different story was unfolding. Since the loss of his close friend John Belushi in the 1980s, Williams appeared to channel his emotions into heartfelt roles and family films, almost as a form of therapy. He maintained an intense pace between acting, charity work, and family life, until it eventually caught up with him. In 2003, he relapsed and began drinking again, and by 2006, he entered rehab in Oregon. His nearly two-decade relationship with Marcia Garces Williams had been more than just a marriage. They were also creative partners, building a production company together. But his relapse placed immense strain on their relationship. In 2008, Marcia filed for divorce, a blow that deeply affected Williams. He had never truly been alone before, and although he hadn't planned for things to unfold this way, his life was already shifting again. Few people expect to find love in an Apple store, but that's exactly where he met his third wife in 2007, before his divorce from Marcia had even been finalized. It was a chance encounter that changed everything. Susan Schneider Williams noticed Robin Williams and decided to walk up and say hello, an introduction that would eventually lead to marriage in 2011. After years marked by relapse and a painful divorce, it seemed like Williams had finally found a sense of peace again. But just 2 years into their marriage, something began to feel off. What started as stomach problems slowly escalated into tremors and severe insomnia. As the symptoms worsened, so did their impact on his mind. Williams became increasingly anxious, even paranoid at times. Together with his wife and doctors, he searched desperately for answers. After months of uncertainty, they were given a diagnosis: early-stage Parkinson's disease. For a man whose lightning-fast wit and boundless energy defined his identity, the thought of losing control was devastating. And the decline didn't slow down. It moved quickly, relentlessly, chipping away at him despite his efforts to cope. Fear and confusion began to take hold, growing stronger with each passing day. Because of his worsening insomnia, he and Susan had even started sleeping in separate rooms. Then, on the morning of August 11, 2014, everything came to a heartbreaking end. Susan went to check on him, and discovered that he had taken his own life, leaving behind a legacy that the world would never forget. The news hit like a shockwave. Robin Williams had died at the age of 63. But what doctors discovered afterward made the story even more heartbreaking. An autopsy revealed that he had not been suffering from Parkinson's disease as previously believed. Instead, his brain showed widespread deposits of abnormal proteins known as Lewy bodies, the cause of Lewy body dementia, a condition marked by memory loss, hallucinations, insomnia, and symptoms that often mimic Parkinson's. In the days that followed, tributes poured in from fans, friends, and co-stars, along with deeply personal stories that had remained untold for years. Lisa Jakub, who played Lydia in Mrs. Doubtfire, shared how she had been expelled from school for missing too many days during filming. Williams responded by writing a heartfelt letter to the school, urging them to support a student of her talent and encourage her to learn through real-world experience. Although the school didn't reverse its decision, that gesture left a lasting impact on her life. Others carried similar memories. Bradley Pierce, one of the child stars of Jumanji, later revealed that Williams had been a guiding presence during difficult times. His encouragement inspired Pierce to open up about his own struggles with depression, crediting Williams with helping him find strength when he needed it most. Even after his passing, the stories people share about him reveal something deeper than fame: an enduring kindness, a quiet impact behind the scenes that shaped lives in ways the world is only beginning to understand.